piercing scream of a baby elephant cut through savannah's calm, its mother thrashing wildly as thousands of black killer bees swarmed over them like living armor. The horrifying scene unfolded in the eastern sector of Kenya's Amboseli National Park. What began as a peaceful morning had descended into chaos. Former Army medical officer James Montgomery, known as Monty to his colleagues, was 40 miles away conducting routine health checks on a rehabilitated giraffe when his radio crackled to life. Emergency at Acacia Valley. Elephant family under massive bee attack. Traditional methods failing. The panic in the ranger's voice was unmistakable. At 58, Monty's weathered face showed the lines of 3 decades serving as a combat medic in the world's most dangerous regions. 8 years into retirement from military service, he now channeled his expertise into wildlife conservation, serving as the park's senior medical advisor. His silver hair and measured movements belied the sharpness of his mind and the steadiness of his hands, qualities that saved countless lives on battlefields from Iraq to Afghanistan. "I'm on my way," Monty responded, his voice calm as he packed his modified medical kit, a unique combination of military-grade supplies and wildlife treatment tools. As a jeep raced across the dusty terrain, the ranger updated him. 5 elephants, 2 adults, 1 adolescent, and 2 calves had accidentally destroyed a massive killer bee colony while feeding. The enraged swarm, estimated at hundreds of thousands, had engulfed the panicked family. Traditional smoke pots and water sprays had proven ineffective against the sheer number of bees. The elephant family, disoriented and in agony, had fled deeper into a rocky area inaccessible to vehicles. Park rangers couldn't approach without risking their own lives and potentially triggering a dangerous charge from the panicked giants. Monty's mind raced. This wasn't just another day in the park. This was triage in the wild. Arriving at the observation point above Acacia Valley, Monty immediately fell into the assessment pattern ingrained by decades of military medical training. He raised his binoculars, methodically scanning the chaotic scene below while instructing the rangers to maintain a safe perimeter. "African killer bees," he confirmed grimly, recognizing the distinctive black bodies and aggressive flight patterns. "They'll maintain attack pheromones for hours once triggered." Through his binoculars, he counted approximately 500 stings on the visible portions of the adult female's body alone, far beyond what most creatures could survive. The situation was deteriorating rapidly. The smallest calf, probably no more than 8 months old, had collapsed and was struggling to breathe, its tiny trunk swinging weakly. The mother elephant stood protectively over it, using her massive body as a shield while enduring relentless attacks herself. The adolescent was trumpeting in pain, charging randomly at invisible targets, while the other adult, likely related female, was desperately trying to protect the second calf by spraying dirt over its body. "We've got anaphylactic shock developing in the smallest calf," Monty stated, noting the telltale swelling around a young elephant's eyes and trunk. Multiple potential airway compromise situations, and the mother's eye membrane shows significant envenomation. The challenges multiplied as Monty spotted 3 cheetahs lurking at the perimeter, drawn by the distress calls. Predators instinctively recognize vulnerability. "We've got secondary predator interest," he noted, pointing them out to head Ranger Kibwe. Checking his watch, 37 minutes since the attack began. Monty knew they were racing against time. Each elephant would have received thousands of stings, and even their thick skin couldn't protect against such massive envenomation. "Sir, should we use the tranquilizers?" asked Kibwe, reaching for the dark gun case. Monty shook his head. Standard wildlife sedation would kill them in this state. Their cardiovascular systems are already strained from the venom and stress. "We need a different approach." The situation triggered memories from his 3rd tour in Iraq, a mass casualty event when a marketplace bombing had left him with 37 critical patients and limited supplies. "This is a mass casualty event with multiple critical patients. Just like Fallujah," he murmured, almost to himself. Monty methodically inventoried their available resources. His modified trauma kit with military-grade antihistamines and anti-inflammatories. 2 park rangers with basic wildlife first aid training. 1 wildlife veterinarian en route, at least 90 minutes out. 3 smoke pots, ineffective alone against the swarm size. The park truck with a 50-gallon water tank. various tarps and equipment from the maintenance shed. The standard approach would be to tranquilize the elephants and treat them individually, but Monty calculated they would lose at least 2 animals before completing treatment of the first. Conventional wildlife management protocols weren't designed for simultaneous treatment of multiple large animals in crisis. As Monty watched the mother elephant desperately trying to revive her collapsed calf while fighting her own pain, his jaw set with determination. "We're going to implement a combat mass casualty protocol, modified for pachyderms," he announced. Turning to the rangers, "I need every drop of diesel fuel you can find, all available tarps, and your welding equipment from the maintenance shed." The rangers exchanged confused glances, but something in the old medic's confident tone made them hurry to comply. As the rangers gathered supplies, Monty's mind flashed back to his specialized training at Fort Sam Houston's Advanced Tropical Medicine course. The instructor's words echoed clearly. In mass envenomation scenarios, you must prioritize airway maintenance and toxin neutralization before individual sting treatment. Later, during a deployment to Malaysia, his team had developed protocols for treating multiple casualties following disturbed killer bee nests near villages. Those same principles could work here, with significant modifications for animals weighing several tons. "We need a 3-phase approach," Monty explained as he rapidly modified equipment from his kit. "First, we create a massive smoke screen to disorient the bees and reduce their aggression. Not the small smoke pods. We need a military-grade obscuration field. Second, we stabilize the critical calf with adapted antihistamine protocols. Third, we create a controlled environment to treat all 5 elephants simultaneously." Monty worked with practice efficiency, cutting surgical tubing to create longer delivery systems for medication. In Baghdad, we modified 4 systems to reach wounded soldiers behind collapsed buildings, he explained to a fascinated young veterinary assistant who had arrived. "We'll use the same principle to deliver medications from a safe distance." From the maintenance shed supplies, Monty constructed an improvised large-scale smoke generator by connecting diesel fuel containers to modified water pumps. "This design is based on field hospital protection systems we use in Afghanistan," he noted, adjusting the pressure valves. "The smoke particulates will cling to the bees' wings and disrupt their ability to maintain coordinated attacks." For the elephant-specific medications, Monty recalled his work with military working dogs in combat zones. "Animals metabolize medicines differently under extreme stress," he explained while calculating new dosages. "In Kandahar, we learned to adjust canine medications during artillery barges. Elephants under this level of stress will need similar adjustments." One of the most challenging aspects would be approaching the defensive mother elephant. Drawing on his experience as a military canine handling consultant, Monty demonstrated specific body language techniques to the team. Move confidently but non-threateningly. No direct eye contact with the mother. Keep your body angled away slightly. I learned this with aggressive military dogs in rehabilitation. He modified the park truck by attaching tarpaulins to create a mobile treatment zone that could be rapidly deployed once the elephants were stabilized. "In field hospitals, we create sterile environments in the most hostile conditions," he explained, showing the rangers how to secure the corners against wind. The most ingenious adaptation came from Monty's experience with combat burn victims. He created a modified saline spray system using pressure sprayers from a maintenance shed, designed to cool the elephant's skin and flush away both bees and residual attack pheromones. "The secret is in the temperature and pressure," he explained, adjusting the nozzles. "Too forceful and you'll cause additional trauma. Too gentle and it won't remove embedded stingers." As final preparations were made, Monty gathered the team for briefing, a habit from commanding medical units in combat zones. He assigned each person specific responsibilities based on their skills, creating a coordinated response team. "Kibwe, you'll operate the smoke system from the eastern approach. Maria, you'll handle the medication delivery for the mother and adolescent. I'll take primary responsibility for the critical calf. Remember your extraction routes at the adult's charge, exactly as we practice." Checking his watch, Monty nodded with satisfaction. 22 minutes from concept to execution. Not as fast as medical intervention setup, but impressive given the circumstances and improvised equipment. The most critical phase would come when they first approached the elephant family. Monty knew from experience with panicked patients that initial contact would determine success or failure. When I was training combat medics, I taught them that approach patients must sense your confidence and calm before they'll accept treatment. He told the team as they prepare to move out. Elephants are highly intelligent and emotionally complex, much like humans in crisis. They'll sense our intentions. Loading the last of the modified equipment onto the vehicles, Monty surveyed his hastily assembled but professionally prepared team. The smallest calf's condition was deteriorating rapidly, visible even from their distant position. They had one chance to get this right. Operation Beehive Rescue is a go, he announced, using military terminology that instantly created a sense of mission discipline among the team. Remember, we move with purpose but without aggression. These aren't our enemies, they're our patients. The approach to the elephant family represented the most dangerous phase of the operation. Monty led from the front, directing the deployment of the massive smoke generators from Protective Ridge above the valley. Within minutes, thick white smoke rolled across the landscape, creating a shifting protective barrier between the bees and their targets. The smoke disrupts their wing synchronization and blocks attack pheromones. Monty explained as the massive swarm's cohesion began to falter. Now we have approximately 12 minutes before they reorganize. Armed with only a modified backpack sprayer containing a specialized saline solution and a medical kit, Monty began his careful approach toward the collapsed calf. The mother elephant, still covered in bees despite the smoke, swung her massive head toward the unknown human figure emerging from the white cloud. "Easy, mama," Monty said in a low, steady tone he'd use with wounded soldiers in shock. "I'm not here to harm your baby." He maintained his body position angled away from direct confrontation, a technique that had defused countless aggressive encounters in combat zones. The mother elephant raised her trunk, testing his scent while trumpeting a warning. Despite the hundreds of stings covering her face, her primary concern remained protection of her calf. Decades of instinct told her humans were dangerous, yet something in Monty's careful movements gave her pause. 20 feet from the calf, Monty faced a critical decision point. The baby elephant's breathing had become dangerously labored, but the final approach would place him within the mother's striking distance. Drawing on battlefield risk assessment skills, he calculated his odds and committed to action. "I'm going in," he radioed to the team. "Begin distraction protocol on my mark." As planned, Keebway deployed a secondary smoke screen to the west, drawing the mother's attention momentarily. In that crucial 5-second window, Monty closed the distance to the calf and administered the modified epinephrine and antihistamine combination he prepared specifically for elephant anatomy. Knowledge gained from 3 veterinary medicine courses he'd taken after retiring from the army. The adolescent elephant, confused and still in pain, suddenly charged toward Monty from his blind side. The rangers shouted warnings, but Monty was fully focused on establishing an airway for the struggling calf. At the last moment, he rolled sideways, a movement practiced countless times under gunfire, while maintaining control of the critical medication delivery system. The charging elephant trumpeted in confusion as Monty resumed treatment without ever losing his professional composure. "Maintain the perimeter," he called calmly, despite the near miss. "The family unit is still our primary concern." Within 4 minutes, the calf's breathing eased noticeably. The specialized medication flooding its system began counteracting the massive envenomation. As the baby elephant's trunk moved with stronger purpose, the mother's aggression visibly decreased. In a moment that the rangers would later describe as miraculous, the mother elephant gently nudged Monty with her trunk, not to attack, but in what appeared to be recognition. Monty reached slowly into his pack and retrieved the specialized cooling spray he developed, indicating his intention with deliberate movements. The mother elephant, in an extraordinary display of trust, remained still as Monty began treating her eyes and most severely stung areas, understanding somehow that this human was helping. "Begin approach with secondary treatment team," Monty radioed, his voice steady despite the emotional weight of the moment. "The matriarch has accepted our presence. We've established trust." As the rest of the team approached with treatment supplies for the remaining elephants, Monty continued working methodically, his weather hands moving with the precision that had saved lives from Baghdad to Kabul And now, the Kenyan savannah. 3 hours after their intervention began, the transformation was remarkable. The bee swarm had dispersed, driven away by the strategic smoke deployment, and unable to maintain aggression without their attack pheromone concentration. All 5 elephants were now resting in the shade of a large acacia tree. Their breathing normalized and the massive swelling around sting sites noticeably reduced. The youngest calf, whose life had hung in the balance, was now actively nursing from its mother, the surest sign of recovery. Monty watched from a respectful distance, applying the final treatments to the adolescent elephant's eyes, which had suffered hundreds of stings. In 30 years of military medicine, I've never had a patient quite like this, Monty remarked quietly to Kibwe. But the principles remain the same: protect the airway, prevent shock, reduce toxin effects, maintain family unit integrity. As the team packed their equipment, an extraordinary moment unfolded. The matriarch elephant approached Monty deliberately, her massive form dwarfing his human frame. Park rangers tensed, but Monty remained perfectly still, understanding the gravity of the interaction. With gentle precision, she extended her trunk and lightly touched Monty's shoulder before returning to her family. In Afghanistan, a tribal elder once placed his hand on my shoulder after I treated his grandchild, Monty explained, his voice thick with emotion. Some forms of gratitude transcend species. The park director, arriving on scene after the crisis had passed, marveled at the outcome. We expected to recover bodies, not witness 5 survivors. Monty shrugged modestly. Military medicine taught me that resources are always limited, but ingenuity isn't. These elephants deserved our best effort. This rescue mission revealed a profound truth. The skills we acquire in one context, even one as harsh as war, can become instruments of healing and preservation in another. Monty's military training, designed for battlefield survival, found its most meaningful application in saving innocent wildlife. In the months that followed, Monty developed a comprehensive training program for wildlife rangers across Africa, teaching them how to adapt military medical techniques for animal rescue operations. His work created a new bridge between military veterans and conservation efforts, giving former soldiers a meaningful way to continue their service to life itself. Have you ever witnessed an animal rescue that changed your perspective? Monty later asked in a documentary about his work. Share your story in the comments below. And if you believe in the power of human ingenuity to protect our planet's most vulnerable creatures, please subscribe to support more stories of remarkable animal rescues and extraordinary humans behind them.